good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. Beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
What I do? Lace up my shoes, chase W's. Great colored coops. Oh no, I can't be number 2. MVP the league most valuable. They sweet as apple juice. Talking trophies, I done grabbed a few. Can't match this attitude. I wear my heart on my sleeve, please. I move like the wind, can't catch this breeze. Freeze. Stop you in your tracks. There's not no preseason. We seeking W's like Tupac used to throw up. Forget it, might as well forfeit. Your team shouldn't even show up. What you wanna be when you grow up? They used to ask me. Naturally, I chose an athlete. Competition never matched me. We ain't go together like camouflage and polka dots. Focus on your position, just know your spot. Sure, don't stop. It's a long season. They planning on winning for the wrong reasons. Trying to get my number retired. Can't let these frauds beat us. I figured out the recipe. Never let opponents get the best of me. I'm focused on my legacy.
Big chips, man, I need that. Hustle hard on the job, you can see that. On my head is real good, we don't need your feedback. They clear the way with my crew coming through. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. What I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Now what I do? Lace up the shoes, chase W's. Yeah. Beats, leave it in the street, case on the news.
This ain't nothing for the pack. Got 16 sitting in the lap. Whole squad all dressing all black. Every single last one of them got my back. Hey, 20 of us, that's 20 goons in the ice cream whip, triple scoop. I got 3 strikes, ain't got to lose. When it's all on the line, what you gonna do? Come on, I'm highly favored. Don't wanna play me, no conversation, ain't got time for no debating. It's for the taking, no hesitation, don't try my patience. I'ma pour out one for the set, boy, till there's nothing left. On a run to the bread until we all got them baguettes. Hear them footsteps coming, cause we coming for the check. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. Long as my dogs, stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die. We ain't gon' run, no we don't hide. I could never switch, not a day in my life. As long as my dogs stay by my side. Yeah, we gon' ride till we die.
Thank you, Coach. From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New Orleans Saints and the Miami Dolphins. That's fielded in the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20.
Get up! 180! Let's go, heavy. Let's go, heavy. Tell me what you got. What you got?
Now the former fourth-round pick, it's Cannon Balaj. Call it officially a loss of 2 on the first play from scrimmage. Second down. It's probably a pretty good sign here on the opening drive if your guys from the secondary are coming up and spilling things in the backfield.
How about the adrenaline and aggressiveness that led his eyes to the backfield to run up there and make that tackle, setting a tone early for his defense.
That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Here's Trubisky. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Lewis, and they will take over at the 26-yard line. Well, not a good omen there. His first throw of the afternoon, intercepted.
And I know what the fans are thinking right now. I hope there's not negative thoughts in his head going forward since that's his first throw of the game. But one of the things I remember about him coming out of school is he's able to wipe things away pretty easily and move on.
And they've got it in the red zone now, down at about the 19. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3. A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. Throwing is Bridgewater. Buying time to his left. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. Give him 7 on the tuck and run, and it'll get him a new set of downs.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it and run time, and he picks up a first down.
They'll run for the first time with Johnson. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Second down, McKinnon. And here's another tackle made at the line, so they're converging well on the football now. Back-to-back stops make it 3rd and 10. The Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on 3rd down. From the gun, Bridgewater. This is caught. And he will have the first down, but he winds up paying for it pretty good. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Here we go. Set. Switch the outlaw.
They'll run it with Johnson. And he is in for the score. Touchdown, New Orleans. Duke Johnson, his 6th touchdown of the season. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Lutz with the extra point. And it's now a 7-0 game. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now. But the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, and the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus. Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack?
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Trubisky. And he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 17 yards for the Dolphins there as they've got themselves a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Trubisky now, after the pick on the last drive, 3 for 3 to start this drive. It's 1st and 10. Flush to his right. And now he's going to use his legs. And down to the 20 he'll go before heading out of bounds. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down. They'll run here with Blanche. They juked him. He's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down. Pretty effective run there, and now they can start to smell that end zone.
Pound the rock. Make sure you use your O-line to set the tone of dominance and physicality, and pound the rock.
A first carry for Kenyon Drake. And he'll take this into the end zone for a Dolphins touchdown. Kenyon Drake, his 6th touchdown of the season, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And there you go, nothing really too complex. Block, keep to your assignments, let them run it in. They did it.
Fundamental football. Good blocking, beats good tackling on that play. End result, touchdown.
So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline. Because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
Watch the curl. Switch.
Throwing, Bridgewater. This time for Smith, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And they will finally get to him, but a great return has set him up 1st and goal at the 5. He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick six last week. Not a pick six here, but an interception.
It's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept the pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week.
And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sacked back at the 9-yard line.
Well, that was point counterpoint, wasn't it? They decided to throw for it on 1st and goal. Instead, the defense counters with pressure, and the defense wins, getting a big sack.
2nd down and goal. Trubisky under pressure, and he'll go down. They'll sack him on what ought to be the final play of this first quarter. Bernardrick McKinney muscled his way in for the sack. These two teams all tied after one. From the 15 now after the sack. It's 3rd and goal. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. The defense may be content to give him 9 there as it brings up 4th and goal. And his kick is right there. It's good. And the Dolphins have taken the lead. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. A tale of two extremes already in this game. A touchdown pass on their opening drive, followed by an interception last time out.
Now, it sounds like things balance out, right? What's that mythological thing that we do? If you have a candy bar, have a diet soda with it, it balances it out. And we know that's not really true, right? Because the interception, that sting lingers a little bit longer. Got to come out now and put together some nice plays.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. They run it with McCammon. After getting stuffed on 1st down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
On 3rd down, Bridgewater. And he's got his tight end, that's Smith. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. He'll get 15 and a Saints 1st down.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
The 1st down carry here for Johnson. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they were hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Bridgewater. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Brandon, it looked like he had his hands on it for a moment, but let's face it, that was going to be a tough catch all the way because of the presence of the defense right there as he was trying to haul it in.
Yeah, nice job to force the incompletion. Bridgewater from the gun on 3rd down. He's got Smith here. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he takes it down to the 49. 3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a 1st down. So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 49-yard line.
Check, lucky. Here we go. Where's the mic?
They go back to the ground with Johnson. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here we go. Slant.
Looking to throw on second down. Bridgewater looking here for Smith downfield. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Anthony Averett picks it, and the return stops at the 39-yard line.
Oh, and that's a nice job defensively to get a piece of the football. He's going to pop it into the air, and then it's the tip drill. And good concentration by him to react to it and pull in the interception.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. The drive will commence with a run by Melange. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line.
It's now 3rd and 9.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway.
Hey, Haywood.
On 3rd down, Trubisky. He sets to fire deep and almost picked off. I guess the good news for them now, it's 4th down.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. A reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll send you up to Orlando. Jonathan Coachman is there, and he'll have stats and scores from a busy Sunday in the NFL. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. And he's going to go down right near the goal line. The officials look at each other. They're going to mark him at the 1-yard line.
As I was watching the play unfold, my eyes immediately went to the referee because I wanted to see, was he going to put those 2 hands over his head and that universal signal for a safety? But it's at the 1-yard line. You know you're playing with fire when you get sacked that close to the goal line. On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Here's Thomas Morstead now as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And it'll be Dolphin football. First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Martavis Bryant, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Dolphins strike quickly here for 6 points. The fly route works for the TD grab.
And you know what the receivers love to say? If we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did. All the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And a first half that really has not been kind to them. A late opportunity here to maybe make some inroads on this deficit before half.
And this drive's going to go a long way towards telling us whether they actually have a chance to come all the way back in this game or not.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now second and 13. Bridgewater. It's complete to Golden Tate. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. Out of the gun, Bridgewater. That'll be incomplete with 9 seconds now showing on the clock. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. Fielded at the 20. And that's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we go up to Orlando now and hand it over to Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them. Here again is McCannon. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. To throw, Bridgewater. And that's knocked away and incomplete. Xavier Howard with a good coverage that time as he was there and knocked it away. So coming up empty here to start the third quarter. Already 2 scores down. Got to be careful.
Yeah, I did notice, though, that the captain of the defense patted the quarterback on the helmet on his way out, pretty much letting him know, we know the pressure's on us. We're going to go out there and try and hold serve for you while you figure it out over here on the sidelines.
The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They were able to get the ball back here, didn't surrender any points. Now they'll look to add to that lead.
Yeah, how about the boost the defense gave them? Going right out on the field, shutting them down, not giving up any points, and turning the ball back over. They want to do their part now and show them a little respect and some gratitude by scoring some points.
And to get a little more cushion. 2nd and 10 now from the 27. Running, it's Drake. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It's a loss of 4. Now third down. And for the Saints here on third down, an extra defensive back on the field. From the shotgun is Trubisky. Pressure comes, and Trubisky goes down. Cameron Jordan, he's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year.
Brandon, what I remember most about playing with guys who knew how to rush the passer they would just tell you, just cover people for me, just long enough for me to get there. And that's exactly what happened on that play.
That'll be put in the books as a 53-yard punt. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Bridgewater to throw it. And Josh Hill has it. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. To throw again on 2nd down. Bridgewater. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
Here we go. Here we go. One's the mic. Watch one. Watch one.
To the air again with Bridgewater. And that will be incomplete. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number. Not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. And the Dolphins' drive will start deep in their own territory with a 1st and 10. 1st down Miami as they get set to start the drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
And he'll be down deep into New Orleans territory. A big play there for the Dolphins, and even 80 yards. So that play flips the field right on its ear. Here's 1st and 10 from inside the red zone. Now it's Trubisky. He's going to be sacked back at the 23-yard line.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19. And able to fight forward inside the 15 to the 13. 9 yards on the gain there, so from 2nd and 19, now we've got a 3rd and 10. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
The pressure drops off as they'll look to throw. This one into the hands of the running back, Balaj. And he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. No gain at all on the play there, and that brings up 4th. And his kick is good. And that will open the lead up now to 20-7. So the drive stalls out inside the 15-yard line, but they do get 3.
And I've talked with enough players nowadays, and when they have these types of kicks, that no one says to their guy, hey, that's just like making an extra point, piece of cake. Because the extra point is not a piece of cake anymore. But kicking a field goal from that distance, just give him confidence and let him knock it through.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
At the 29-yard line.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. Now Bridgewater. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Christian Wilkins able to record his 5th sack of the season.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in 3rd and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
Now the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
He's got his man. This is Tate. They'll wind up with 17 on that one, but they're still a bit short here for 4th. And how about the call here? They need 2 yards in their own territory on 4th down, and they're going to go for it.
Kill. Turn up. Kill.
They're indeed going for it. Bridgewater. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Off the edge, it's Tyrone Crawford with a sack. But down 2 scores, I guess they felt like they needed to go for it. They must have thought they had a play to dial up that they could get it. Well, it didn't work out.
They must have thought, as you pointed out, they had a play. And they were probably looking at the number of possessions that they thought were left in the game. And down 2 scores, they must have felt like they couldn't risk not taking a shot here and giving up that chance.
Call it a gain of 2 as time has run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now in Miami. It's Dolphin football. It's also Dolphin lead to begin quarter number 4. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Trubisky nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Marcus Davenport in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. Let's see what they draw up here. 3rd and long following the sack of Trubisky. Now Trubisky. It's complete. Stills. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the 1st down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the 2nd half. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
Let's go.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. A good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it.
And down he goes. The pressure getting to Bridgewater.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
Yeah, blink of an eye. That happened fast and a big sack. 3rd and long now after the sack, and we'll see if Bridgewater has a response.
Run the mic. Watch one.
From the shotgun, it's Bridgewater. And a throw there going to be incomplete. It was Minkah Fitzpatrick that time to break that one up.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. It's taken to the 26. An 8-yard return there after a punt of 47. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Now, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking...
It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Martavis Bryant with his 2nd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Dolphins are able to extend that advantage. Point after, right down the middle. And that pushes the lead up to 23. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
The Saints take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him...
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Eric Rowe. And he'll bring this one back to the 29.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
About 3 yards there to the 27.
Well, that's a pretty good drive starter right there, and I don't know, partner, if you're even thinking about sitting on the ball right now. They may just want to run their regular offense.
In plus territory, and as an offensive coordinator, you don't want your team to go into a shell, do you?
No, you really don't, because as soon as you take your foot off the gas, it's real hard to put it back on and mash it, because once everyone's emotions come down, hard to start them up again. So I think he may want to keep them cranking high right here.
Here's Trubisky to throw. Keeps himself upright. Now Trubisky lost the football.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Let's go. 25-yard line.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. It's caught. Smith. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5.
Hey, we got to get this stop here, D. Mike.
Here's Bridgewater. Complete. Smith has it. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Bridgewater now. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. He's picked off near his own.
You see me out here. That's right. We can't be stopped.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. We've got a lopsided game here. I don't know, Charles, what does the handbook say that we discuss when we've got a game like this in the fourth quarter?
Hold on a second. Let me thumb to the proper page on that. Know what it says?
What?
Let's discuss how we got here.
And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Kalen Ballage, his 6th touchdown of the season as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. Extra point right down the middle, and that will extend this big lead. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers.
Pressure from his right, and he goes down hard, flat on his back. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Saints football as we get you reset. They're looking at second down now as they search for a consolation score. Now this throw caught left side. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on third. Dolphins bring on an extra defensive back on third down.
X3, 218, chopper. Strip that ball. Watch twist. Watch twist. Check. Crunch. 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 Ready.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And boy, from up here, I don't think Johnson got there. No, he did not. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on third.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and the Dolphins get the football in great field position. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Ballage. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. They run it with Ballage. He'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Check right, check right.
Ballage. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. But, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Dolphins, it's a win that might keep them alive in the playoff race as they're back to 500 at 5-5. And they'll get to stay home again next week. Meanwhile, for the Saints,